Hey guys, Jordan here, and in this video I want to walk through creating a color palette from scratch based on just a mood board. Typically our process with any brand is when we get to the design stage, we already have some kind of a mood board, whether it's something that we work on in depth with the client or whether it's something that we make for ourselves based off of talking with the client. We always start with that. Then we typically draft out some colors, and then we go to logos, which we have a whole series on how to get started with logos. So I want to focus on that color stage today. Once we have the mood board, how does the color drafting look? We have a few episodes in this already, which I'll also link below. So the steps are always kind of the same. So like I said, visual direction of some kind on the page, and we like to aim for 4 colors. It is a good number where we find that it makes us think and makes us kind of narrow down, but also have enough to be usable for most brands. So that's what we try to aim for, is what the 4 central colors are going to be. So let's just walk through the steps that we normally go through for this mood board. It's really lovely, kind of natural blue lagoon tones. So let's take a look at this. First thing we ask is, what are our absolute must-have colors? What are we seeing appear multiple times, basically? For me, when I am looking at this, I am seeing greens, these kind of very warm greens. This one right here, this one here, this one here. This and this are also a very warm green, so we definitely have to have a warm green. We're typically going lightest to darkest here, so I'm just going to take a guess and put in one of these warm greens kind of toward this side. When I grab that color, I'm looking at the mood board and it doesn't feel reflective of me to the warmth that we're looking for a lot of the times. A mood board or images that have mock-ups or other colors around them can kind of make a green look lighter, or any kind of color lighter or more saturated or less saturated than it actually is. I always want to go with what it looks like, not what it is, because what it looks like is what the client is seeing, and it's what we're seeing when we put the mood board together with them or for ourselves. So I want to go with the look of the color, not with an exact color grab, if that color grab isn't working. So I'm going to lighten this up a little bit, add some saturation, and that's looking a lot closer to the overall green, warm greens that I'm seeing. Okay. Any other must-have colors? I think we must have a light blue, because I'm seeing it here, 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 almost light and mid-tone. So I'm gonna put that right here. And again, just starting by grabbing one of them and seeing if that feels reflective. That feels pretty reflective to me. I might lighten it up just a little bit to kind of emphasize the saturation of it and fit better with these lighter blues. So that's looking really nice to me. And then, to me, those two, that kind of mid-tone warm green and the light blue, those are the main repeating colors I'm seeing over and over again. So now let's just move on to step 2 for now, highlight. So we did not pick out a highlight in that first step, but as I'm looking through and asking myself, what would that lightest highlight color be, I'm seeing a lot of this kind of pale, warm white. So let's just go with that. I'm seeing it kind of in this newspaper background, a little bit here and a little bit here. I'm going to grab that one. That one looks pretty reflective of these, but I'm thinking that this and this have a little bit more gray in it. So I want to maybe darken and desaturate that just a little bit without losing all of the warmth. So I may bring this hue over a little bit. I think that looks pretty good to me. And then moving on to shadow. Shadow's a hard one with this set of colors because I'm seeing a couple that are appearing multiple times. I see 2 blacks appearing, first of all, but to me, that is just not that is not what makes this mood board, if that makes sense. These black colors are not what is making this color palette. So to me, I'm kind of disregarding it, because you can just kind of tell that it's more, it seems to be there more incidentally than as a key color. It's something that if I'm seeing something multiple times, I can always pull it out, and I often will pull it out and just make kind of a note of it as a potential secondary color when we're working on secondary colors later down the line, depending on the scope of the project. But it's not a color that strikes me as beneficial to the main palette. The 2 that I'm really between more so are a dark blue, because I'm seeing it here and here, or a really dark deep green, which I'm seeing here, a little bit here, and a little bit there. So I'm between the 2. So what I'll typically do when I'm not quite sure is I'll grab both of them and I'll just see what seems to make the palette work better. To me, that dark blue definitely rounds out the palette more. I think with this, we're missing that depth. This one seems more flat as a palette to me. So to me, seeing these next to each other, it's a no-brainer. I'm going to go with that dark blue. And this looks like a pretty good representation of what I'm seeing. Maybe make it a little warmer, but I really want to keep that blue tone. And then maybe a little less saturated there. That's going to help it just lean a little bit more into that dark green, which we couldn't fit in. I will, however, make a note of that dark green tone as a potential secondary color. All right, so I'm going to stop there because we don't need to go to number 4 because we've already filled out our palette. The tone, light, medium, and dark, it's just making sure that we're kind of establishing the overall tone of the mood board, and I think we've already accomplished that. So typically I stop once I get to whatever step I'm at. If the must-have colors are so obvious that it just fills it out automatically in step 1, that's the only step I'll look at, is the must-have colors. So we just kind of go down the list until we get to 4 central colors to work with. All right, so these would be my 4 central colors. These would be my 2 notes on potential secondary colors down the line, but this is what I would start working with, start presenting to the client, or depending on the timeline of the project, start incorporating into our brand proposal or brand proposals. So I hope that that's helpful to see. Like I said, I'll link the other videos in this collection below. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, give it a thumbs up, because that's the only way we can know for sure that it's, that you're getting something out of it. So give it a like if you would like to see more videos like this. And if you have any questions, of course, feel free to comment.